Now, I think AI has gotten to that point where it's become so well developed. Like all of the information, all of the variants and variables that they're giving to it are giving us a lot more humanity than machine. The learning of the machines has gotten to that point where, by the way, it really does feel like you're talking to a friend, right? And so, of course, through collected data, through all of the information that is collected over time, there are some things which, according to artificial intelligence, are signs that you are facing loneliness. And honestly, they are pretty spot on. But before we even get into that conversation, have you tried using artificial intelligence? AI, Google Bard, ChatGPT, or any of the others?
Not really, apart from like when I'm hanging with you and you ask me, you know, there's this new one prompted. But beyond that, never. I've never felt the need. I don't feel like they'd give me the answers I'm looking for. I'm more inclined for a face-to-face with somebody,
Right.
a personal touch, a human touch.
Okay, but to be entirely honest, at the beginning, maybe a few months ago, yes, it would have given you an answer that feels very scripted. But now if you try and interact with, especially Google Bard, forget ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be a little mechanical. Google Bard is very, very intelligent. In fact, if you're even searching for like, what movies can I go watch right now, Google Bard will give you all the showings, what time they're showing, even give you a synopsis of what you're going to watch, so you're pretty prepared. I want to go on holiday to Zanzibar, for example. It will give you all the spots, even give you links and all of that. It's like, it's very, very intuitive, and it can really ease in your life if you try and use it, and you should. So one of the things that I think AI, or artificial intelligence, has given as a sign of depression, or as a sign of loneliness, is social withdrawal. And I think in this particular case, we'll either agree or disagree with some of the signs that AI has given. Social withdrawal. Personally, I completely agree with that, because oftentimes social withdrawal is usually a huge addition to loneliness, right? Oftentimes you have your friends around you, you have your family around you, you have people around you. And trust me, when you're around people, it's very, unless you're going through other stuff internally, it's very difficult for you to actually feel lonely, because there's always someone in your ear. However, when you physically start to isolate yourself from friends, family, loved ones, or even strangers, you start to realize very quickly that, after a while, when people are trying to call you, trying to catch you on the phone, and you're always like, I'm busy, people stop calling and stop texting you, right? And of course, if people are not talking to you anymore, or they're not trying to reach out to you anymore, then you actually start to realize that you are alone. In actual sense, you are alone, and therefore you are lonely. So social withdrawal, 100%, I agree. Artificial intelligence is right on that one.
And also persistent sadness. It's one thing when you're sad once in a while. It's normal, it's human. But if you're always sad, you're always blue, regardless of who you're hanging out with. If you're in the middle of the room, you're at a concert, you're at the carnival, but you're still feeling blue and empty and sad, that's a problem. That's a sign that you're really lonely inside, and you need to figure out what's causing it. And even when it doesn't have even to be triggered by something. You know, sometimes sadness is triggered by something bad has happened. You're disappointed with something. But just like that, you are not triggered by anything. You just feel blue. That's a sign of loneliness.
Absolutely. Another one is just lacking interest, especially in things that you used to like to do. You used to like to journal. You used to like to watch movies. You used to like to, take a walk, touch grass, all those other things. Those things that you used to really enjoy doing, you start to feel like, I don't really want to do that anymore.
It's too much work.
I don't feel like doing it today, and then tomorrow, and then day after, and then it just becomes a long period of you not doing those things that you actually used to like. And it also leads to an exhaustion. Every time you're thinking about doing something, you're just like, no, I'm just tired to do that today. That lack of interest can lead to the lack of energy, which can then lead to you never leaving and never doing anything, and therefore loneliness creeps in.
And also another side effect of isolation and being by yourself because you've cut off everyone else is the disruption in your sleeping pattern. You find yourself very unable to sleep. It's just something that happens in your mind. We're just wired to have human interaction and to have fun while talking to other human beings. But when you cut off everybody else and it's just you alone with your thoughts, somebody actually said the space between one ear and the next is a very dark area, especially if you're just on your own, alone with your thoughts. It can get creepy very quickly. So you find yourself very unable to sleep most of the time.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that one. AI, spot on that one. And this one is another one I agree AI is actually very correct with when it comes to irritability. You know, when you're always like snapping at people for no reason. We have a very nice producer in this house, but she will snap at you randomly for absolutely no reason.
Is she lonely?
We're wondering, is she lonely? She needs to explain to us, are you lonely? Because this baby girl will snap at you at any point for absolutely any reason. Irritability is it's an all-time high. It's very rare that you find her very calm, and when you do, it's even shocking. Like, you don't even know how to act. Like, oh my God, you're calm? Ah, that's really cool. Anyway, so increased irritability can be a sign of loneliness or can lead up to loneliness because oftentimes people don't want to hang around you when you're all snippy and always just chewing people on people's ears and stuff like that. So the more people avoid you because of your of the increased heightened sensitivities and heightened irritabilities, people will just like kind of veer off, and therefore it can lead to loneliness. But yeah, she's not lonely, she's just irritable.
Anyway. Shots fired here in studio. On to the next is actually physical ailments. And this might sound wild, but the way our brain works, the messages our brain sends to the rest of our body is very important. And you'll find that people actually have physical ailments due to stress or due to just what they're thinking in your mind. And people say it's actually a manifestation of what's going on in the inside and it comes off in the outside. So be very careful. You know, if you're always alone, isolated, there are dark thoughts everywhere, 9 times out of 10, it's going to show physically what's going on inside.
Heavy elements changing. Another one, as we said, with the regard to things changing, is an excessive use of social media. And I think Turife has mentioned this at the beginning when we were talking about when we were having a conversation about the Ask the Girls segment, right? So oftentimes when you go on social media, you go there to be excited to see what other people are doing, what are their lives, what are they leading up to now, and yada, yada, yada. And then next thing you know, you start to realize that, oh my God, they're doing a lot better than I am, or wait, they're doing a lot worse than I am, and then that makes you depressed. Or sometimes it's just your starting to realize, by the way, I haven't spoken to this person in so long, and then the moment you try and think of, maybe let me DM them, and then you're like, wait, but it will come off weird, it will come off funny. Like, it's a combination of so many things. What intentionally started as a good and fun thought ends up becoming it just exacerbates a lot of energy and negative energy within you, and then you just end up being like, yeah, no, maybe I actually do need friends. You know, go on social media and you see all these cliques, groups of friends. You know, groups of schools have now transitioned to group of friends because, my God, they're always together, they're always in a pack, they're always having fun, road trips, everyone is going. You start to realize, maybe I don't have friends, because who am I going on a road trip with? Who am I doing this with? Who am I doing that with? And it just can lead to a lot of realization of loneliness. So I agree with AI on this one.
Yeah, and also poor concentration and focus. And this might sound wild to you, but do you know your cognitive skills actually deteriorate the less you use them? So all of these effects of loneliness are, you're always exhausted, you don't want to go out, you don't want to interact with people. At some point, it's going to start adding up, and you'll find yourself very unable to focus on small tasks. Your concentration span is all of 2 minutes, like a goldfish. I don't know who did the test, but apparently goldfish are very delulu over there. So it's actually a true thing. It's something I've actually experienced, especially postpartum, when you isolate yourself and when you're trying to come back to society and you're like, wow, I could not listen to that whole conversation without getting distracted, or I find myself unable to do puzzles and pieces and everything. So yeah, look out for that.
I actually read something interesting the other day about the reason why a lot of women experience postpartum. And would you believe it if I told you that it's because a large majority of women actually cannot process folic acid in their bodies. And therefore, when you get that, so you're given the folic acid tablets or medication that are recommended by doctors. So when you're trying, because you have an excess amount of it in your body, by the time you're now done with your pregnancy and you're off the folic acid, it also leads to a dip because of that. Such an interesting random
That is
thing.
wild.
Very interesting, right? And finally, as we are going into wow thoughts, we have, unfortunately, as Turi has said, in between your two ears, a lot of darkness. And a lot of darkness can only be succumbed or can only be exorcised or completely, what do you call that? Exorcism can be exorcised by positive self-talk. But oftentimes, unfortunately, as human beings, we tend to do the opposite, which is a lot of negative talk. You know, you see someone looking nice and you're like, guy, me, I could never look like that. You see a nice car driving past you and you're like, guy, me, will I ever be able to drive that car? You get in a matatu and you see this one girl very beautiful, one guy very handsome, and you're just like, ay, kwani uko sijui nini. You know, you always invest in like doing a lot of negativity, and everything is attached to a negative thought or attached to a negative emotion. Oftentimes this leads to, unfortunately, feelings of loneliness, because guess what, as you are negatively talking to yourself in this way, anyone who tries and comes and interrupts that thought, you tend to stay away from them, because again, your brain would rather be negative than positive, right? So that, and then you always now what you're thinking about is always going to come out of your mouth, and therefore you're always saying negative things about yourself and about other people. Nobody wants to be around a negative Nancy. I'm sorry to tell you, that's just how the world works. Everyone will be delusional until you start being negative. So be careful about the kind of conversations that you're having with yourself in your mind. And I think I even we've spoken to Turi about this, or we've spoken a lot about this, where I would tell her sometimes I would say something super negative to myself, and then I would catch myself and just be like, girl, what was that?
I hate we're so in sync. It's so annoying.
It is. It really is. And speaking of a sync, let's see how much in sync we are with the game. But in case you have any comments, compliments, or particular ideas about AI, because I feel like we've agreed with all the signs that AI has given. If you have any more, let us know. Signs of loneliness according to you through technology you have realized. Let us know on 0770 729 366. But switch up gears to, guess what? Game time.
Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. Hey.
Moving on. I think this is one where we find out whether we have things in common or not. It's a simple game of never have I ever. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Never have I ever regifted a gift.
Oh, I have. I have. There was a time I was not into this scented candles thing, and somebody gave me a bunch. So I just divided them nikazituma, and people are very happy about it. So a win is a win.
God damn, na saizi
I would keep all of them. Squeezing nawasha mishuma neza choma nyumba. Yeah. Never have I ever thrown a drink at someone.
Child, I would love to say that I
drama.
haven't, but there was a group of friends I had that they brought out the negativity out of it. You know the way all the negativity is accumulated. And I will never forget, I took that bottle of beer, smashed it on the ground, and started shoving it, like, you know, trying to like almost, what do you call it? Scare off this guy with it, because he was trying to be problematic. So I'm just
Viewing
like,
felony.
so, well, technically I didn't spill the drink on them, but I
Wow.
almost shanked them.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, never have I ever stolen anything.
I have. Ooh. Yeah, I used to steal. I like the feeling.
A
It
little
gives me
klepto?
rush. But in like primary school, there's this supermarket right next to our primary school, and we'd go in the whole class, and I would, sneak a chocolate here, sneak a pin pop here. Very nice. Loved it.
Shopkeeper anabaki huku akiwa na malosses, amepiga 2 shots. You're wondering, wow, what's
Watu
going
wakizunguka
on?
mtu wa ice cream. Yangu iko wapi? Unasema yangu iko wapi? And you know very well you haven't paid this man. You take your ice cream and walk away. Wow.
What?
Karibu ni act na Will Smith ile movie yake ile ya theft. I was very, very sleek with it. Never have I ever pretended to be sick to get out of something.
Child. My first job, that's how I quit.
Wow.
I used to work at one of these very popular cafes. Now they're popular. Back then there used to be just like one at Village Market. Anyway, so I was sick and tired of this job, and I couldn't get out of it because somehow every time I tried to tell them that I'm going to quit, they would, try to give me a raise, give me a promotion. Oh, we're going to make you a supervisor, KKK. So I'm just like, I really just don't want to work here anymore. So guess what I did? As a person working in the hospitality industry, especially with food, there are diseases that you just can't go to work with because you will infect someone. These are very much foodborne diseases, and they can be passed on. Yes. So I told them I have dysentery.
Wow.
And I never went back to work.
Gosh.
They kept calling me weeks after that. I'm like,
The runs.
Just like that, quit that job.
Ukwe rudi. Wow. Anyway.
Now, never have I ever drunk dialed my ex.
I didn't even have to be drunk, I'll be very delulu, but yes, I have. Yes, I have. It was very interesting. Yeah, I got disappointed 2.0.
Did they pick up?
Huh?
Did they pick up?
Yeah, they did. They did. We talked. We were very cordial, and then disappointments, and then I remembered why we had broken up in the first place.
Oh, you go back together?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was very interesting.
Oh,
all of 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes there's an ex you just go back to and you're like, kulienda aje hapa?
What was that?
Everything they do is just like, this is why we
I see why we broke up.
Yeah, some of them are like that.
Never have I ever played strip poker.
I've never played strip poker. I'd like to say I'm sophisticated, but I'm not that sophisticated.
Yeah.
Strip poker? No.
Never. Okay.
You?
No.
Yeah.
I'm
it
a
feels
child
like a
of
very it feels like a very risque game. But spin the bottle?
No. I tried it once, it wasn't for me. Mimi siwezi enda kwa closet na mtu mwingine.
Right?
Na siwajui.
7 minutes of heaven.
Do you all know people get herpes through kissing?
Y'all don't even understand.
Y'all be playing too much.
No, it's a no for me. Never have I ever gone skinny dipping. Skinny dipping doesn't necessarily have to be like the bougie, you're in a jacuzzi. Have you ever just like been
Skinny
naked?
dipping is just being naked in the water.
in the water.
No. No.
Hata mke ushago
Mimi
when you were kids.
maji yangu haipiti ya karai. I don't play with my life like that, okay?
Even as a kid.
I don't joke
and there
like
are those
that.
two funny bugs which you were being told if they bite you on the nipples, your boobs become big.
Yeah.
You didn't?
I don't do that.
God damn.
I used to stay at the river bank and watch these risque people. Nasema, "Nikikufa, shida yenyu. I'll eulogize you." Never have I ever had a one-night stand. Ay, producer.
Ay.
Tujibu, tusikie.
Jamani, mi mke wa mtu. Siwezi jibu hiyo. Jamani. Anyway, one night stands. I feel like in your 20s, that's kind of just your 20s. Yeah.
You're exploring.
Yeah.
You're getting to know people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never have I ever dined and dashed. Eaten somewhere and not paid. And then you just chopped.
As I said before, I always strongly believe that when I do something wrong, God is going to use me as an example.
Right?
So that's the only reason. It's not that I'm a good person. It's just that I'm scared
you fear
of the
consequences.
Karma. Yes.
I get it completely.
I have never. Never have I ever snooped through a friend's room, cabinet or property. Yeah, and I think phone.
Akimi ni mdaku.
What? You'll go through someone's cabinet?
No, but like sometimes they've just left you, and you just see the perfume and you're like, na hii inanukiangaje baby.
Wow.
Yeah, kumbe very nice.
Kabati iko na nini?
Iko na nini hapa, wanaweza kuwa wameka, skeletons literal or otherwise in there. It's important to know where you are. Very important. Very, very important.
No, it's not.
Well, have you done any of these things? Let us know, because you've learned a lot about us. We want to learn about you. 0770 729 366. But right about now, that's kind of how this day is going to go. Until tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.
My name is Tarife, and I'll see you tomorrow.